welcome to Sunday School. I thought I'd like to try something new for the next few weeks as we're counting down to Christmas. Let's talk a little bit about some traditions you might have in your family for counting down. How about an Advent chocolate calendar? I have one like this for Kinder Surprise. Or maybe you do Lego. This one's my favorite. It's a jam calendar. We got this one last year actually, and we still have jam. For socks, a calendar full of socks. But what are we really counting down for? What is it that's so important what is it that we're waiting for?
Have you ever heard of a Jesse tree? This is a type of advent calendar created in medieval times for people who couldn't read, and they could learn about the Bible from creation to Christmas. I like the set that has 30 of them, and this would actually start on November 25th if you want to do all of them. And you can make them from clay or craft materials you have at home, or I have a printout set that's in the links in the email.
You can follow along at home. We'll probably do 7 or 8 each week to get us caught up, and you can make them on your own or print them out. And here we go. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1 to 4 says, "A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots a branch will bear fruit." So that would be the son of Jesse, David. This next one is a symbolism of all the prophets and everything written in the Bible. That it's not a real verse, but it's just saying like everything revealed in the Bible will happen at its appointed time. Everything that God has planned will happen. Number 3. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. God created man and woman. God created Adam and Eve. Okay? So you can read this in Genesis chapter 1. Creation of the world. Creation of Adam and Eve. He formed Adam from clay and breathed into him. And of course, he knew that Adam needed a helper, so remember he fell into a deep sleep, and then God pulled a rib and formed Eve. And then they lived in the Garden of Eden. God said they could eat every fruit except for the one from the tree that grew in the middle, and this is the tree of life and also the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But we all know what happened. They disobeyed and they ate the fruit. And it's not an apple, but they always show it as an apple. Okay? This is the fall of mankind. This is when sin entered the world. So God banished them from the Garden of Eden. You can read about this in Genesis chapter 2 and 3. This is the next ornament. You know it. Noah's Ark and a rainbow. Genesis chapter 6 and chapter 9. Okay, and in verse 12, this is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. The Bible is full of promises. This is number 6. God tells Abraham about the promised land. He said, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." That's Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 7. Next one here. God promised Abraham he would have as many descendants as the number of stars in the sky. And at this time, he didn't even have one son yet. But God promised him he would be the father of nations. Genesis chapter 15, verse 1 to 6. And as God promised, God gave Abraham and Sarah a son, Isaac. When Isaac grew up, God told Abraham to bring him up to the mountain to make a sacrifice. And it was when Isaac asked, "Father, where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" And Abraham answered, "God himself will provide." And indeed, it was a test to show his obedience. And God provided a ram. In the next few weeks, we'll have more ornaments to add to our Jesse tree. And this will help you know the story of Jesus' family from the moment of creation until the New Testament.
Maybe your parents would like to participate in the countdown too.
Okay, and one more. This is Yves Rocher advent calendar with all kinds of makeup and stuff like that. For me.